and welcome back. And we are here now live with Mr. Adam Wedlake, the Executive Director from Basketball Manitoba. Adam, thank you so much for joining us today.
Happy to be here, guys.
Great. Okay, so we do have a busy month here coming into the spring session as well, going into summer for Basketball Manitoba. You have some really big news that you wanted to share with us today. I'll let you go ahead.
Sure. Well, we had it earlier today. We had the Bell MTS Place to make our official announcement of the return of the Canadian Senior Men's National Team to Winnipeg. First time in 20 years that we've seen this level of play come back to the city. That goes back to the 1999 Pan Am Games, which many of you probably watching or listening probably weren't even alive when that last time that came through. So very far and few between when those come. But yeah, earlier today, the official announcement was made by Canada Basketball with True North Sports Entertainment, who's obviously hosting the game at Bell MTS Place. The game will be Friday, August the 9th. At 7 p.m. at the center. We're looking probably for a sellout of the event. Last time we had a major basketball event here was with the we had an NBA exhibition game played here back in 2015, and that was between the Bulls and the Timberwolves, and that was a sellout. So we're anticipating this. The big question, of course, is who will be on Canada's roster at that time, and right now Canada in the world has the second most number of players from a certain country behind the U.S., so actually number one in the world now of Canadians that are actually in the NBA, ahead of other countries, large countries like France or Brazil or Spain that have had large impacts of in the NBA over the last number of years. But so the big question is, of course, who will be on that roster. So.
Okay, no kidding, of course. Has there been news for anybody following from Winnipeg, like such as Justice Aline, going to be potentially being on that roster?
Well, that level of play is pretty much, if you're in the NBA, that's the level of play. So for Justice, who's been on some of our junior national teams, that's most likely where his national team involvement may come to a halt, at least for the interim. But the spin on this, because they're actually playing Team Nigeria, we have a local player who has Nigerian heritage that we're hoping will actually crack that Nigeria team. He's been with that team the last summer. And that's Keith O'Mara, who played at the University of Manitoba from Grand Park High School here in the city, but has been with the Nigerian team the last summer qualifying. This game is a final game that we played in Canada prior to both teams heading to the FIBA World Cup, which is in China this September. So this is our last chance that we would have Canada playing in Canada leading into that game.
Okay, well, this is a big opportunity as well as for the basketball fans in Winnipeg. When you said a sellout from the preseason game, I do remember seeing that, and people were very impressed with the crowd that was brought out for that. So, yeah it's something that they're probably going to want to mark on their calendars pretty early. When you say about Keith O'Mara, I know that he went on to a good pro career as well. I'm not sure if it was Poland or Norway, but somewhere in the European countries there he as well played. So it's good that the homegrown talent could potentially be there on either roster potentially for this game. And the second thing that you wanted to mention was a camp announcement, I believe.
Yeah, another thing we put out last week was the inclusion of having Danny Green, who's from the Toronto Raptors, here this July 2nd and 3rd at the Canada Game Centre, and that's a two-day camp targeting players ages 8 to 16. And with Danny here, it's not just a cardboard cutout of himself or a poster that will be able to be signed. He'll be there for a vast majority of the camp, 3 of the 4 hours each day, working with the young kids. That will sell out as well. It's already close to being sold out. It just was announced last week. So if people are interested in getting on that, both information from the special game and the camp is on our website, which is basketballmanitoba.ca.
I remember seeing that over the weekend when I gave the website a hit there, and I said, oh, this is going to be big. And when you said on the website article, it said it's anticipated for another sellout. So these events that you're bringing in is something that's, like you said, the sellout is the only thing I can really elaborate more on. It's going to attract a big crowd, a big basketball market here, and we're known for that here.
Big time, yeah. And for the Danny Green camp, it's the first time, at least in my recollection, that we've had an active NBA player here for 2 full days to put on a camp, hands-on, and not just be again, they're nice when they come, sign autographs and do some photo ops, but actually to be hands-on on the court with the kids, especially a player of his caliber.
Of course, and that'll definitely put some smiles on some faces and really make some kids happy this summer. Another couple things we wanted to get into was the Emily Potter basketball experience camps. I know that Theo had an opportunity of meeting her, so if you just wanted to talk to Adam a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was Emily Potter showed up at my son's school a couple of weeks back, and it was an absolute amazing afternoon with the boys and the girls during the phys ed classes. Definitely got my son really involved in basketball. I mean, we play every day now, and shows me the spin moves and how to dribble and whatnot. Tell me what that means to bring a player like Emily, who's from Winnipeg, who went to college and now has that opportunity to play overseas and professionally, what it does to the young athletes, both male and female, to Basketball Manitoba and the WNBA program.
Well, that's been a huge opportunity for us. She finished her career at the University of Utah last year, went on to play professional ball this last fall in Poland. Unfortunately, dealt with a bit of a knee injury, but in looking at a positive spin on this, she was back here in town rehabbing it for about 4 months, and we felt she's here. Let's take advantage of her time because, again, players of that caliber, far and few between chance of us getting them involved in our program. So we created this program under her name, the Emily Potter Experience, and basically she goes into a class, takes over the phys ed class for the day from start to finish, has a little touch on her story and her experience. She's also a speaker with the Canadian Mental Health Association, so she has a piece on that of positiveness around that topic of mental health, but then gets the kids active on the floor and gives them a little quick taste of basketball. And in the last, she started doing that with us in December, and this coming Friday is her last day with us. She'll see about 17,000 kids over the course of that period.
That's truly amazing. And of course, the last thing she showed all the kids is how to properly sign an autograph. Make sure you don't sign over your head. Make sure you sign beside it. Now, we've talked about May being a very busy month, the club championships and the tryouts at the end of the month. Do you want to touch on that very quickly for us, Adam?
Yeah, sure. We got the club championships are coming up next weekend. Our top 125 club teams qualify and play in that at a variety of ages, 12 to 19-year-olds. From that, we have actually a special one at the 14U level, which is part of the national or international global junior NBA championships. And this is a stepping stone that our winning Manitoba team will go on to play a Saskatchewan team, who will then go to a Canadian national championship, who will then go to the junior NBA world champion or global championships, they call it now, in Orlando, Florida this summer. So it's an exciting start to that. And then ultimately out of that, we identify our top athletes to represent Manitoba this summer with the Manitoba provincial teams. One unique one, special one this summer is the Western Canada Summer Games, which is in Swift Current, Saskatchewan. That's our 16U age level, but we also offer at 15 and 17-year-old boys and girls.
So it's quite a busy May. Going to be a busy June nonetheless. Thanks for joining us, Adam. I really appreciate all this information's on the website. And Danny Green is going to be one of those amazing tidbits of info for all those youngsters here in July coming up. Thank you again very much. We'll be right back with Brady Friesen.